Hello, fellow humans. Welcome to V and M's channel. On this channel, we share our thoughts on topics, sometimes research, sometimes not, that we find interesting and wish to overanalyze with you, dear viewers, in the comments. In previous conversations, V and I discussed the spiritual worthwhileness of making money. Am I saying that right, V?
Yeah, spiritual. I like worthwhileness. So go with that. It makes sense. I like that too.
So today we're talking about building wealth. So before we begin, I would like to clarify that I'm not a financial advisor and I have no special training. Well, except for the time I took a financial literacy class and then dropped out 2 weeks later. But wait, V, are you a financial specialist of any kind?
Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not. But I did take a financial literacy class as well, and I actually was the student of the month.
Nice.
That's a little ode to special financial literacy.
So V is more advanced than I, so we probably need to listen to her somewhat a little bit more in this conversation. But before you click away, and at this moment you've probably realized that we lack some credibility because of our channel names, our stick figure bodies, and that the video is not going to be the top 10 secrets to make money fast. But hopefully my goal with this video is to explore this topic from a beginner's perspective. I wanted to know, can I navigate building wealth without having connections to financial wizards, or if it's easy to find information about building wealth? Not money fast, but wealth. And for today, that's my goal. But V, what about you? What's your goal for today?
To be quite honest, I don't have a set goal, but I lean towards the idea that I just want to see if it's possible for people like you and I, the average Joe, to make money based off of the information we've been given off the internet, what limited information we have and limited experience. I just think it's interesting to explore the area.
Yeah, so I think it sounds like we're having similar goals, and you worded it very beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So to start off, I think it would be easier to go through just the basic tips that we usually find off of the internet. For me, those basic tips is just don't spend more money than you have. Use your money for something, so invest it in something, and then to try to get rid of debt. What about you? Did you see those basic tips as well?
I did, but I divided mine into two separate categories. The first one is the skills that one would need to have in order to acquire wealth. And then the second one are just day-to-day examples of literally how to acquire wealth in one's life. So a couple of examples I have on just the skills you need to have as a person, just the characteristics. Good self-discipline, which we all need if we want to accrue any type of wealth long-term. Continuous learning, because you have to always be able to navigate whatever market you're in, if one at all. How to sell, and that's pretty obvious. You have to learn the difference of value over money. So there's secrets in learning how to sell. And then the last two that I have for this particular category are the willingness to make sacrifices, which I think is pretty self-evident, as well as money management. So that was a pretty routine thing that most people say you need to do.
Yeah, I feel like for some of those, that's like just good life lessons to have. Like,
yeah.
What was it? Discipline? Oh, do I need that?
Yep. It's not an easy thing to do. The example that the video that I was with gave: make your bed at the same hour every morning, or whatever hour you get up, and do that for 21 days straight. If you can do that, then you are pretty good at self-discipline, because most people can't do that. That was just a example.
Yeah, I mean, trying to have a goal and being able to accomplish small goals in increments, I think, is something that's like just an important life lesson in general, as you were saying. But something that I think both of us were interested in while we were doing our research is making money that you don't have to put a lot of effort into. So like passive income, right? So I think also I noticed what you mean about like having prior knowledge versus being able to do it off the fly, right? So usually most people will suggest, oh, invest in stocks. And in my mind, I like try to look up information about investing in stocks and I'm just lost. There's like complete jargons of things of like S&P stocks and like you should build your portfolio. And in my head, I was like, I don't know if I can do that by myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were talking about with like having prior knowledge?
That wasn't exactly what I was referring to off the top of my head when it came to prior knowledge. But it is a good example of what you can have. If you don't have a prior knowledge of stuff, I would actually suggest, and this is not in my notes, it's slightly off the cuff here. I would acknowledge getting a mentor if you can. Someone who's in that line of business or in that line of whatever it is that you're trying to work towards, and have them help you if you're able to get that done. So that's where I would see prior knowledge help. They're a source of prior knowledge. They are a wealth of knowledge, if you will.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so would you think that, or would you agree that like investing in stocks is one of those things that you have to refer to a mentor?
I don't think you have to. Some people are so well-read, and they're like, some people, you know those types, they're able to pick up a book, read it front to back, and boom, they got the information there. That's all that they need. They don't need a mentor. But some of us, such as myself, do need a mentor. Go through things, and it's not anything to be ashamed of, or it's not anything that's bad. It's just some people need a little more help than others. It's like, I think of it as online schooling versus in-class schooling. There's different types. Some people can just learn straight up by the books. Some people need a little bit more than that.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is, I mean, I don't mean to like reiterate what you're saying, but that most of the time people will need a mentor for stuff. But if you're lucky and you have those like skills, you can do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that.
I also like kind of switch gears here. With passive income, I noticed that it was also there's this difference between like high investment passive income, passive money making versus like low investment. For me, like I had always heard about like high investment stuff, such as investing in the stock market, owning a house to rent it out, you know, or having some type of skill that you learned in college to be able to sell your work, such as like computer programming or something like that. But for me, I'm interested in like the low investment.
Yeah.
As you said, like what can like any person just start on their own? And I noticed that it kind of broke down into maybe about 2 or 3 parts. Like usually they're suggesting that you sell something or be able to create something you can sell. Yeah. Or to create something that you can get ads put onto. So, for example, making a blog making a YouTube channel,
Mhm.
making classes, which I was like kind of surprised about.
Yeah, I heard of
Yeah. But what did you find? I think you had some stuff on your
that. Yeah.
notes.
No, I had all of that on my notes. But the ones that I highlighted, I just highlighted 5 of them. The first one is market a crazy idea and get people to back you up on it. So, for example, the pet rock back in the 80s, that was really cool. It's crazy, but people bought it like crazy. Or
Mm.
cardigan 250, that's another form of something that you can market as crazy, but get people to back you up on. You have the event or holiday planner, which is one of my favorites. I have an aunt who is amazing at planning parties for her children, but
Mm.
she doesn't want to go down the route of being a party planner, which she's a nurse, I think. But I'm like, no, you want to be like, you're amazing. You have to be a party planner. But she doesn't want to. But there are people out there who just have that natural talent. Um, Publishing your own book. So I actually already started on it, but I'm thinking I don't want to publish it until I'm rich. That way I can give everyone the finger. Anyways, and then just the 2 more. Drop shipping on your own online store, much like Kylie Cosmetics. She's a billionaire now just based off of drop shipping. And then flipping goods, so going to your local secondhand store such as Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul's, or something like that, and just flipping the clothing and selling it at a higher price. So those are just a couple of things that you could do for cheap or even for free. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse saying, but I don't have money. Anybody can do these 5 things, for example.
Yeah, I heard about the dropshipping one and then the selling clothes one. But as I was researching this, in my head I was like, man, these don't sound very passive. These sound like I still gotta work.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the tough thing is knowing which one you want to do. So, for example, publishing your own book, that one is passive income once you get it generated with enough people buying your stuff. So you have to basically promote yourself. I mean, I think with almost any business, if it's going to be passive income, you have to first create an audience base. You can't just put something on the market and then get mad that no one's buying it at high volume, and then you're like, oh, well, fuck this market. I forgot it. I didn't know if we were allowed to cuss on the channel. But the point is, you have to, every business has to start somewhere, and it starts with Facebook. So it does take a minute to get started, but it's worth it in the end if you know what you're doing, and especially if you're really passionate about what it is that you're doing. So.
And that's the thing, though, right? Is like we're coming from the perspective of that we don't know what we're doing. So, I mean, personally, I already got a full-time job, right? So it's like I want to get passive income, but I want to find ones that are actually I do minimal effort and it doesn't take a long time for me to get just even a little bit of income that I'm not focusing on. And I get what you mean, like there is this kind of initial investment of time, which I think is it's a kicker for a lot of these. That it's like it may be low investment for money, but higher investment for time.
Yeah.
But something I did see. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I just said that's the thing.
Something that I saw though that I was a little curious about, and some of these that I was like a little nervous about because I was like, is this a scam? Am I gonna lose money? It was like what was it? Passive income apps.
Okay.
It had you heard about those before? See, this is where I get nervous too, because like also I heard about the drop shipping one, but in my head I was like, is this like something illegal in disguise? Am I am I getting tricked? You know?
Well, you can look up people who have become millionaires, for example. millionaires just by drop shipping. You can listen to some of their stories. That's what I like to do. When I open my online business, it's gonna be similar to a drop shipping business. It's not gonna be drop shipping exactly. I don't want to go into the full details of it, but that it's gonna have a similar framework. I'll put it like that. So I think if you are able to find the correct product, whatever your product is, whatever you choose to sell, you create that market for it. You might have to make videos. Don't have to show your face, but let's say, for example, you have to make YouTube videos to advertise what you're showing. That would, you can build the base audience. They can start to buy whatever it is that you have. For example, you're very good at miniature projects around the house. So, for example, your little fish tank pool, or your what is it called? Your patio area, your neck corset, like little stuff that you do. I know it sounds weird.
Are you telling them all my secret?
I mean,
V.
thought it was really.
I mean, V. Oh,
that's we'll edit it out.
Okay.
That's a tit for tat. You can make videos without ever showing your face and show yourself working on projects, or maybe showing them a product that you have from drop shipping off and showing how you feel about the product itself. I would give my product a 2 out of 10 based off of this. So we're going to have to go back into the lab and work stuff over again, little stuff like that. And that way people will start to trust you as a vendor. Yeah. They'll start to trust you more as a vendor. Like she is able to analyze her own product, for example, and give honest feedback, which I think you always do. That's just naturally who you are. I think that something interesting that you could do. Doesn't have to be that. There's other ways to advertise yourself and your products, but that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it helps with those sorts of things if it's a hobby, right? Like, it's easy to build an audience if you're doing something that you actually enjoy, and people will see that you're enjoying it. Like, I enjoy talking to you. So I think hopefully, like, people will appreciate the conversation, and that we'll be able to continue a conversation down in the comments below. But
please no foreign comments.
yeah, we had a couple of those. In like, what was it? There was another. Which video was it that we had like a bunch of comments for advertisements?
It was a bisexual video.
Oh, I'm sorry, V, that happened on your video.
I know.
But kind of to wrap it up, because it seems like we're slowing down a bit. In conclusion, I kind of found that the suggestions for passive income, there is, as V said, a kind of hard investment you have to make in the beginning, either with your time or your money. But hopefully, if you diversify and try a bunch of different things, you'll be able to find one that does get you that passive income you're looking for. And as far as other tips and advice you can find on the internet, I thought it was fairly easy. But I think for certain topics, maybe more research needs to be done. So things that are more specialized, like investment stocks, or even some passive income forms that may be a little bit sketchy, I think requires a bit more research and finding different sources. But what about you?
No, I think pretty much solved it, basically. Oh, 1 second. We're out of. Okay, there we go. We're back on. We're back on. Okay. For a second, frozen. Sorry, guys. That's just how the internet works. Yeah, I agree with you. Just look stuff up on the internet. If it is something that you're seriously interested in, this is a great starter video, I think, and we're just redirecting you to to the professionals who can really help you kind of get started on stuff like this. We have fun talking about this, and I picked this because it is, to me, I think business can be fun. If you make it fun, if it's something you're really interested in. So I appreciate Em for joining me on this adventure of talking about this topic. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say.
Well, thank you for that closure. All right, fellow humans, thank you for listening in on our conversation. Hopefully we can continue the conversation down in the comments. So we'll talk to you there. Bye. Okay. Should I stop the video?
Yes, that would be appreciated.